What's going on, everyone? So Trevor Lane posted that the Lakers announced that they have assigned Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroder, and Kendrick Nunn to the South Bay Lakers. They will be recalled after their practice scrimmage. He also added, just getting in some extra work for Nunn and a good sign on Bryant and Schroeder's injury status. So Kendrick Nunn has been a real disappointment so far this season. I was so high on Kendrick Nunn. I hyped up and talked about Kendrick Nunn so much on this channel because I really thought he was going to be a huge factor for the Lakers this year. He looked great in preseason, and I was like, yes, everything looks good. Everything looks justified. We're going to be off to the races. And Kendrick Nunn, since the season starts, might as well not even be on the team. I mean, he's just been atrocious. So this is hopefully their kind of like, I believe, last-ditch effort to try to get Kendrick Nunn to kind of, get that spark under him, get some more work in. He is coming off of an injury, from missing the whole season last season, but he's gotten enough burn, enough play time. He seems to just, I don't know if it's just in his head or what, a lot of his shots just seem to be falling short, and then before they were, too long, and he's had like a couple moments, like he had the one game where he had like 18 points, but basically everybody was sitting out, so he got to shoot, 20 shots or whatever. So it's just the lack of consistency from him. We don't necessarily need him to be a 20-point a game night. We just need him to get it. Can he get us, 10 to 15 points a night, right? I mean, we've seen what Kendrick Nunn can do on the basketball court. It's just not translating well for the Lakers. And I don't know if it's the injury. Maybe he's not fully right. I don't know if it's just a mental space. I don't know if it's a combination of both. Some players just get in slumps and it's hard to get out of them, but once they get out of them. So to me, this is the Lakers trying to get him out of this slump. Hey, go work out with the South Bay Lakers. Go work out with Dennis Schroder, Thomas Bryant. Try to get yourself right and then come back and then hopefully, in this next week or so, we can get you ready for Friday's game so you can come out and actually have a performance, actually come out and, put on a display because he's been essentially unplayable and we need him to be good. Right, like one of the big bright spots of this Lakers team was the guard play that we have. Right, like yes, that we had like this plethora of guards, and it was just like we have way too many guards. But then, like when you really think about it, you're like, okay, well, Patrick Beverley, 3-and-D type guard, right? Well, he's been the D without the 3, and he's been a disappointment, right? And then Kendrick Nunn was like, man, Kendrick Nunn is a guy who creates his own shot, shoots 38% from 3, so, he can kind of play shooting guard if we need him to. You got Dennis Schroder and Russell Westbrook as like your slashing guards, like you got a good mixture. And like Dennis Schroder hasn't played, Patrick Beverley has been, completely just irrelevant on the offensive end and just been a liability out there in many ways. Like even if you look up the numbers, the Lakers are better on both sides of the ball without Patrick Beverley. And then Kendrick Nunn he's just been horrible. He's just been unplayable, right? And it's just like such a disappointment. Russell Westbrook has had this resurgence since coming off the bench. So it was like, okay, cool. Russ is back. Russ is playing well. Now we just need, these other guards to pick it back up. Dennis Schroeder's coming back at some point, so maybe there'll be some positive signs there. Now, can we get Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley? And they just haven't shown up. And again, we don't need them to give us 20 points a game, but we need them to consistently contribute on the offensive end, knock down some shots, get and create plays for others, get and go and, get a couple easy baskets. I mean, Kendrick Nunn is missing floaters and layups and airballing threes and, airballing mid-ranges. And it's been a terrible display. So hopefully him getting some extra work, him getting some extra reps, maybe that can kind of get him back into the flow of things, back into the swing of things. So I don't mind them doing that with Kendrick Nunn. And then as far as, Dennis Schroder and Thomas Bryant, right, they're supposed to be reevaluated on Thursday to see if they can return to play. This is probably just going to be some light work, go in, do a couple scrimmages, do a couple workouts and things like that, kind of ease your way in. Not just that, but we've seen a lot of players have reassignments to the G League when they're rehabbing and trying to get better. Even star players we've seen actually go down there and, just get a couple games in or get a game in and get some run in. Even Rondo played there at one point. We've seen guys before actually go to the G League and use that as a way to kind of get your legs under you, which can really help. And then, hopefully they can be back on Friday. Now, neither of these guys have played this entire season, but these are two guys that can come in and really make an impact. Now, I don't think Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroder are like the missing pieces to make us a contender, but I do think that they could be missing pieces to help us win some more games, right? I mean, you're talking about two guys that are capable of giving you, 15 points in any given night. Two guys that really solve a lot of what we need right now, right? Like that consistent second guard behind Russell Westbrook or, next to Russell Westbrook or in front of Russell Westbrook, whatever, a guy that can come in, create his own shot, create for others, play solid defense. Like if Dennis Schroder comes in and he can be that solid defender with the scoring, now Patrick Beverley becomes irrelevant. Now you can actually look to trade Patrick Beverley, right? Especially if we get the Germany Dennis Schroder. Dude, that guy was incredible. So if we could get even anything close to him, you're talking about a guy that could give us, 12 to 15 night in and night out, and that's all we need. I really, you look at Dennis Schroder and Thomas Bryant. Like, if I told you right now, the Lakers could add for free a 20 to 30 point a game guy, a 10 rebound, and 2 blocks, 2 steals, and, 8 assists. That's superstar numbers. You'd be like, man, yeah, go get that guy. Who is that guy? That's basically the production that you could get from both of these guys. Thomas Bryant is a guy that could give you, 15 a night, night in and night out. You got Dennis Schroder who can give you 15 a night, night in and night out. So there's 30 points in production right there. Thomas Bryant could give you, 7 to 8 rebounds a game. Dennis Schroder could get you, 3 to 4 rebounds a game. So there's 10 rebounds right there. So you're looking at least another 20-10 in production. Schroder can get you 2 steals, and Thomas Bryant can get you 2 block shots. They both spread the floor. They're not elite three-point shooting, but Thomas Bryant has been, 40% from 3 the last few years. He's got a career 35% three-point percentage, which is, really good for him. Again, I'm not saying that they're going to come in and make us a bona fide lock contender, but just for comparison, in 2020, Thomas Bryant averaged 14.3 points on 64.8% shooting and 6 rebounds plus just 1.5 assists. And then in 2019, he put up 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. So, you're getting a guy that could be anywhere from, like I said, let's say worst in 10 points, right? Because, his career averages are 10 points, just under 6 rebounds, and just under 2 assists, right? But shooting 59% from the field. I'm not asking him to come in and be a 20-10 center. I'm asking him to just come in and be your average. Just come in and be your career average. That's it. That's all we need. Because then you have a guy that shoots 35% from 3 for his career. You got a guy that, can get you in 20 minutes, get you 15 points, 10 to 15 points. So many people want Miles Turner, right? I see people time and time again wanting Miles Turner. Thomas Bryant averages nearly the exact same stat line as Miles Turner. Nearly exact. He shoots a better overall percentage. Turner only gets you about 7 rebounds a game. And, so Thomas Bryant is right there with that. He's going to get you a couple block shots. He's going to get you a lot of what we need from Miles Turner, right? And you got to keep in mind, Miles Turner, yes, he's put up great stats this year, but he's the number 1 or 2 option on the Pacers. He's going to go from that to the number 3 or 4 option. And same thing with Buddy Hield. He's going from that to, and Dennis Schroder, again, is a guy that can create for others, can get to the hoop, can get you, 15 a game if you need him to. I really think these guys can come in and get an impact. Not just that, but it allows the Lakers to see how, what does this team really need? Because if Thomas Bryant comes in and he, let's say he just is off to the races and he gives us, 10 to 15 a game with 7 assists, you could play him alongside Anthony Davis and you're looking good, well, then you might not need another center, right? Why go and trade for another center? Why go and trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield when you might have a Miles Turner or Miles Turner light already on your team and you have Dennis Schroder. So now Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn are expendable because Dennis Schroeder's playing so great. Because again, Dennis Schroeder's a guy that, every year gives you about 15 points. He's got a career average of 14.2 points per game. He's giving you anywhere from 15 to 18 points a game on any given season and shoots about 44%, 44%, gives you 6 assists and 3.5 rebounds. So again, you're getting that production. You're getting a guy that can come in and be effective night in and night out, play solid defense. That's something that he's always been known for, is his defense, right? And just his tenacity of getting at it. Like, you add these two guys, now you can take a look at the Lakers and see, like, what do we truly need? Do we really need another center and then bring Thomas Bryant off the bench, or, move Davis to the floor, or do whatever? Or are we good in the center position between Thomas Bryant, Wenyen Gabriel, Anthony Davis, and now we need wing depth, right? We need a Josh Richardson, right? And we need a Doug McDermott. So let's go get those two guys, and then maybe we need another scoring guard. Let's go look at Terry Rozier or something like that, right? I'm just throwing names out there, but I'm saying, like, it gives you an opportunity to kind of reevaluate what this team needs if these two come in and play productive. Now, if these two come in and they're terrible, well, then that could be a problem, right? Like, a lot of people were concerned with Thomas Bryant in preseason. One, I don't really put too much into that because, look at the opposite of that coin, right? Kendrick Nunn looked like our best player in preseason, and now look what happened. Like, I don't put too much into preseason. Not just that, Thomas Bryant was coming off of a significant injury. It's going to probably take him a couple games to get into the swing of things. But by the second stretch of Spurs games, we should start seeing what Thomas Bryant we have. And if he's a guy that can come in and give us, like I said, I don't need 20 points a game from Thomas Bryant. Come in and give me 10 points a game. Like the Lakers, they don't need much to start winning games, right? We're in most of the games here. I think we need several guys to go and actually become contenders. But here's the thing. Right now, I have said we're, 3, 4, 5 guys away from being legit contenders. And I still believe that. But these could be two of those guys right there to help us in that positive light. And if these two are guys that help us in that positive direction, well, then now we don't need 4 or 5 guys, or maybe even 3 guys. Maybe we only need, 1 or 2 guys, right, to give a full roster turnaround. Right, because these are basically 2 new acquisitions for the Lakers, essentially, because they haven't played this season in the regular season. They're coming in. If they can make an impact, then now we can look at it and go, okay, maybe we only need 1 or 2 guys, right? So what are those 1 and 2 guys? Is it a center? Is it Buddy Hield and Miles Turner? Or is it Doug McDermott and Josh Richardson, or Josh Richardson and maybe, a Terry Rozier or something like that, right? Like, those could all be possibilities, right? And we won't know until we actually get a good look at these guys. So I imagine before the Lakers do anything, they take a look at Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroder, kind of get a good look, good insight, and kind of figure out, okay, are these guys going to make an impact? If so, what do we need around these guys? Is Thomas Bryant our starting center? Is he coming off the bench and backing up, Anthony Davis? What are we doing here? I think that's probably going to be answered rather quickly, or at least I hope will be answered rather quickly. And then hopefully the Lakers, after this little 5-game stretch, maybe they'll start making moves, and then maybe they'll start making trades to kind of piece together. Because like I said, if Dennis Schroder comes in and he's great, let's say Dennis Schroder comes in and over this next 5-game stretch, he's averaging 15, 5, and 5, right? You don't need Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn anymore. You just don't. So you might as well take those two and go get a player that you actually need and that could help. Go get Josh Richardson, and I wouldn't even mind if they got Josh Richardson and Jakob Poeltl, right? Because then you could still, because Thomas Bryant could play the 4 with his 3-point shooting and his stretch ability, right? So you could even have that rotation, and then maybe try to flip Damian Jones at some point or something like that, because you can't just buy him out or waive him. So, I don't know. It gives the Lakers much more flexibility if these 2 guys come in and are good. So hopefully we get some good reports coming out of the South Bay for the scrimmages and stuff. Hopefully we hear that they look good. I imagine we're going to hear they look good regardless. But hopefully, if they do say they look good, hopefully they're there and they're ready for Friday. Friday could be, this little break is great for us, right? Because now LeBron James can kind of get healthy, can get right. We beat the Nets, which is good. So we have that confidence boost going into the Detroit Spurs game, and then we play the Suns, and then the Spurs 2 more times. So hopefully everybody can get healthy, everybody can get right. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, even Walker, guys like that kind of get over the little nagging injuries. Dennis Schroder, Thomas Bryant come in. Hopefully they can have an impact over these next 5 games. And then Rob Pelinka can really evaluate, hey, what are we going to do here? What's going to happen here? So anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of this news? Are you excited? Are you not? Do you hope Kendrick Nunn can kind of turn it around, getting some extra reps in, or do you think like no, he's a lost cause, trade him? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Let me know down in the comment section below.